Gather what you need to carry with you. For the time has come to prepare to leave behind an old way of living that no longer brings you peace. I say this with seriousness, but not to plant panic within you about a disaster that will occur at some exact hour. My beloved child, a true warning does not make you a prisoner of fear, nor does it force you to act in chaos. I am calling you to awaken because quiet movements are taking place in your life. And if you continue living as though nothing needs to change, you may miss the opportunity to step beyond the limitations that have confined you for far too long. Packing your bags does not necessarily mean that you must immediately leave the home where you are living or flee to some unfamiliar place. First of all, it is an invitation to examine what you are carrying within your heart, your thoughts, and your daily choices. I know there are burdens you have carried for so long that you have begun to believe they are part of who you are. You have become accustomed to waking up with anxiety, to doubting every moment of joy because you fear it will soon disappear, and to holding tightly to relationships that exhaust you simply because you are afraid of walking alone. You have placed too many judgments, bitter memories, betrayals, and mistakes into your luggage, continually using them to condemn yourself. But, my child, not everything that happened to you must be carried into the next part of your journey. Some things need to be acknowledged, healed, and then laid down. Some promises that others broke are no longer worthy of being held in your arms. Some fears once helped you remain cautious, but they have now become walls, preventing you from receiving something new. I am reminding you that the road ahead requires a lighter heart, a clearer mind, and a faith that is no longer controlled by voices that make you diminish yourself. What is moving behind the things you can see is not always something frightening. Sometimes it is a gentle rearrangement that you cannot yet understand. A door closing, a person suddenly becoming distant, a plan failing to unfold as expected, or an unexpected truth being revealed may cause you to believe that everything is collapsing. Yet what you call loss may sometimes be the very deliverance I prepared long ago. I do not want you to view every change through the eyes of panic. Look with awareness. Ask yourself what is being taught, what needs to end, and which direction will lead to lasting peace. Not every disturbance comes to destroy you. Some strong winds appear only to carry away things that have already decayed, but that you still lacked the courage to release. Therefore, the third warning you hear today should not be understood as a threat that I will abandon you if you do not act immediately. I am not standing above you, counting every minute and waiting to close the door in your face. I am more patient than your fear, more generous than the times you have been slow to understand, and gentler than every voice that has ever frightened you. Yet that patience does not mean that you should continue postponing changes that you already know are necessary. This may not be the first time you have felt the need to establish boundaries. It is not the first time you have recognized that a habit is draining your strength. Nor is it the first time you have understood that a certain path no longer belongs to you. I have reminded you many times through a quiet uneasiness, through doors that continually closed, and through the emptiness you felt each time you tried to return to a place from which you had already been led away. Today, I speak more clearly so that you will stop negotiating with what is hurting you. Prepare yourself on every level. My beloved child. First, bring order to your outward life so that you are not swept into chaos when change appears. Complete what you have postponed. Safeguard important documents. care for your health. Manage your finances wisely. And do not allow disorder to make your mind even heavier. Yet do not focus only on what your hands can hold. More important is the way you prepare within. Learn not to react immediately when you are provoked. Create a space of quiet before making significant decisions. Learn to distinguish between peaceful intuition and fear, creating dark scenarios. Guidance from heaven may be serious, but it always carries light, order, and clarity. Panic is different. It pressures you, takes away your ability to think clearly, and makes you believe that if you delay even for a second, every good thing will disappear. I want you to understand that divine protection does not mean you will never face the unexpected. True protection means that in the midst of disruption, you still know what to do amid the noise. You still recognize what is true, and when doors close, you still do not lose your dignity. I do not promise that every day will be calm, but I promise that you will not walk through those days alone. When a plan is overturned, I will help you find a new direction. When someone disappoints you, I will teach you to love without losing yourself. When you are placed before a difficult decision, I will remind you not to choose merely because you fear being left behind. The most frightening thing is not an event occurring at 9:31 in the morning. It is allowing fear to rule every hour of your day and steal the precious present from you. Tomorrow may bring an important conversation, a change at work, news that causes you to reconsider something, or simply a new realization about yourself. Whatever comes, you do not need to predict every detail in order to remain at peace. Prepare by living with integrity today. Say what needs to be said with kindness. Repay what you owe. Apologize when you know you have hurt someone. Stop opening the door to people who continually disturb your stability. Make time to rest. And do not regard exhaustion as evidence of loyalty. When your life is ordered, the unexpected will not easily knock you down. When you know your worth, lies will not be able to drive you back into the old cage. And when you keep your heart turned toward the light, darkness may appear, but it will not decide who you become. Packing your bags also means choosing carefully what you will carry into the new season. Carry the wisdom that pain has taught you, but do not carry bitterness. Carry gratitude for those who once supported you, but do not carry dependence upon their approval. Carry the dreams that still make your heart come alive, but do not carry the pressure to prove yourself to the world. Carry your ability to love, while leaving behind the habit of rescuing others to the point that you forget to care for yourself. Carry compassion, but lay down guilt for things that were never your responsibility. The right luggage is not the fullest luggage. It contains only what helps you walk in freedom, clarity, and peace. I am standing near you with the seriousness of a protector, but also with the tenderness of one who understands every pain you have not yet been able to name. I am not telling you to run away from life. I am teaching you to stop running from the truth. I am not asking you to fear tomorrow. I am inviting you to live awake today. When you prepare with faith, rumors, threats, and frightening timelines will no longer control you. You will know how to pause, observe, pray, and choose with clarity. The great thing that is coming may not be a disaster, but an opportunity to step beyond the old version of yourself. Therefore, gather your heart, clear your mind, and keep your faith steady. Whatever tomorrow may bring, You are still being guided, still protected, and still strong enough to walk through it with the peace I have planted deep within you. Before you go any deeper into this message, I want you to remain until the end, because what is being revealed before you is not only connected to an unusual sign, but also to a purpose you must understand so that you do not lose your direction once again. In the past, you ignored many reminders because you were tired, doubtful, or believed they were only passing emotions. But this time, the stirring within you is not like those previous moments. It has not come to make you afraid, nor to force you to chase something mysterious. It comes like a gentle flame illuminating the place you once kept closed, like golden light falling upon days that seem to have lost all hope. Therefore, do not hurry away before hearing everything I desire to say. The blessing may still find you, and the door may still remain open. But if you do not understand why it has been opened, you may easily pass through it carrying your old habits and then lose the peace I prepared for you. My beloved child, what I require from you now is not an action performed for others to see, but a quiet promise you make to yourself. You will not allow the good things that have just awakened within you to be quickly buried beneath tomorrow's noise. You have heard many encouraging words and have felt moved for a moment, only to return to the rhythm of life that made you forget where you were being led. This time, I want you to keep this message close like a small lamp. It is not because an outward symbol can determine your destiny, but because choosing to remain will help you stop running from what is healing you. When you choose to listen until the end, you are saying to your own heart, I will not abandon this process merely because it requires me to change. Heaven does not measure your sincerity through a click or a hurried statement, but through the faithfulness you maintain when no one is watching. Breathe more slowly, because what you are about to receive does not only concern something good that is coming, it also reveals the person you need to become when it arrives. Many times, you have prayed for a new door, restoration, an opportunity, an answer, or a turning point. You believed that if your circumstances changed, everything within you would automatically be healed. But I want you to understand that the deepest miracle is not only what is placed in your hands, it is your ability to hold that gift with a renewed inner life. If I give you abundance while you still carry the fear of scarcity, you will live as though everything might be taken away tomorrow. If I bring you a healthy relationship while you still look through the eyes of past betrayal, you will doubt even what is sincere. If I bring you into a new position while you still believe you are small and unworthy, you will make yourself invisible in the very place you once prayed to enter. For this reason, I do not prepare the gift while neglecting the person who will receive it. During the days when you believed you were being delayed, I was quietly doing a deeper work. I taught you to recognize the voice of fear and the voice of wisdom. I showed you that closed doors are not always rejection, and that people leaving are not always a loss. I softened the parts of you that had grown hard from having to protect yourself for too long. I also showed you the habits you needed to release, because although they once helped you survive an earlier season, they could not carry you into new territory. You thought nothing was happening. But within that silence, I was enlarging your capacity to receive. I saw you during moments that no one else knew about. I saw you forcing yourself to rise when disappointment wanted to keep you down. I saw you continuing to do what was right, even when no one thanked you. I saw you protect a tiny spark of hope while every reason around you told you to surrender. There were nights when you no longer had enough words to pray, and all that remained was a sigh and weary eyes. But, my beloved child, I do not need eloquent words in order to understand you. Even your painful silence was heard. In the place where you believed you were weakest, I saw a light within you that refused to go out. It was not because you never fell, but because every time you fell, there was still a part of you that wanted to return to the light. That is why I remind you that your name has not been lost among the countless voices of life. Your quiet efforts, the times you refused to retaliate, and the small steps you continued to take when no one encouraged you were never meaningless. They have created a testimony that no denial can erase. Yet do not understand this as a reason to exalt yourself. You are remembered not because you are more perfect than others, but because you allowed love to preserve you during the days when you had every reason to become bitter. You did not always choose correctly, but you still knew how to return. You doubted, but you never completely closed the door. That willingness to return is what made the difference. Yet the gift that is coming will place a very clear choice before you. You can enter the new life with the maturity I have taught you. Or you can carry old patterns through the new doorway and turn the blessing into a room filled with anxiety. You cannot pray for peace while continuing to feed unnecessary arguments. You cannot desire respect while repeatedly returning to places where others disregard your worth. You cannot ask for a new beginning while clinging to old stories to define who you are. What I am opening requires you to enter with lighter hands, a more awakened heart, and a firm decision that the past no longer has the authority to control tomorrow. There will be times when you feel tempted to return to what is familiar, because even though the old caused you pain, it still felt predictable. The new land may confuse you because you do not yet know how to live without being driven by fear, lack, or the need to prove yourself. You have been fighting for so long that when peace appears, you may begin to distrust it. You became accustomed to chasing others. So when someone willingly remains, you may not know how to receive it. You lived in a state of defense for so long that opening your heart in a healthy way may make you feel vulnerable. But I will not bring you into a new place without teaching you how to live there. You only need to resist returning to the old cage merely because it feels more familiar than the open sky. The urgency does not lie in panicking and doing something immediately. The true urgency is that you must awaken before old habits steal the clarity that has just arrived. There are moments when you need to decide within your heart that you will no longer negotiate with things that have repeatedly exhausted you. You do not need to shout. You do not need to make a public announcement. You do not need to prove anything to anyone. You only need to quietly close the pathway that leads back to self-degradation, dependency, and choices born from fear. When that decision becomes firm, the next steps will naturally become clearer. I do not want you to hold a beautiful map without knowing where you are going. I do not want you to receive an opportunity and then run in every direction because you do not understand its purpose. Blessing does not come only to make you feel more comfortable. It comes so that you may become a light to those who are passing through what you once endured. Your restoration will teach you how to support without controlling, love without losing your boundaries, and give without draining yourself. What you receive will not end with you. But first, you must learn to steward it with humility and awareness. Therefore, my beloved child, remain within this process. Do not give up simply because what I am changing requires you to look honestly at yourself. Do not run back to the past merely because the future is not yet fully visible. You do not need to see the entire path in order to take the next step. Hold firmly to what you have understood today. The gift and the transformation must come together. When what you once prayed for appears, receive it as someone who knows who they are, knows what must be preserved, knows what must be released, and knows which calling is worthy of being followed. I did not lead you out of dark days, only for you to become lost in the light. I am placing clarity within you so that regardless of how your circumstances change, you can continue walking in peace, gratitude, and a faith that is no longer easily shaken. My beloved child, what is waiting for you is no longer far away, like a vague dream, because at this very moment, the wheels of change have begun turning toward you. I am calling you to pause, not to imprison you in fear, and not to make you dependent upon any message, but because I want you to recognize that some very small moments carry the power to open an entire new journey. You have spent a long time waiting. You have repeatedly wondered whether your silent prayers were being heard. And at times you believed the door before you had closed forever. But I want you to understand that silence does not mean abandonment. During the days when you believed everything was standing still, I was quietly arranging, shaping, and protecting things that you did not yet have the vision to recognize. If you could see everything being prepared behind the invisible veil, you would no longer rush to conclude that you had been forgotten. You would understand why certain offers did not succeed, why some people left, and why paths you pursued with all your heart suddenly closed. Not every delay is a loss. Some delays are shields protecting you from an outcome that was not yet right. Some doors did not open according to your preferred timing because I was strengthening the foundation behind them so that when you entered, the weight of what you received would not make you stumble. A blessing does not only need to be given, it also requires a heart mature enough to preserve it, a mind clear enough to use it, and hands humble enough not to turn the gift into a burden. Therefore, I remind you to become still within. Even though the world around you remains filled with voices urging you to hurry, the stillness into which I invite you is not the immobility of despair, but the peace of someone who knows they do not need to force everything to happen. You once believed that only through being constantly strong, striving without rest, and carrying every responsibility alone could anything be resolved. Yet some battles are not won by rushing forward. They are overcome when you learn to pause, remain steady in faith, and refuse to let outward chaos control your inward decisions. I am not asking you to appear unbreakable while your heart is tired. I only ask you to be honest. Allow yourself to breathe slowly, and remember that you were never meant to carry the whole world upon your shoulders. A shift is beginning in places your eyes cannot yet see. What once appeared motionless is starting to move. What was once obstructed is finding a way through. Answers that remained hidden in darkness are approaching the moment when they will be revealed. Yet do not rush to attach this change to only one form. Your miracle may not arrive like thunder that everyone can hear. It may come through an honest conversation, a small but timely opportunity, an awakening that helps you stop returning to a place that once wounded you, or a quiet decision that changes the direction of your future. Do not despise humble beginnings, for even the greatest tree was once hidden within a seed so small that it could easily be forgotten in the palm of a hand. I know there are desires you never dared to speak because you were afraid of being disappointed again. You made your dreams smaller so that it would hurt less if they did not come true. You learned to say that you did not need anything, even though deep inside you still longed for restoration, recognition, healthy love, and a meaningful life. Today, I do not want you to hide those desires from me. You may bring everything honestly, without decoration, and without proving that you are worthy. I saw every time you cried in silence, every night when you were too tired to pray, and every morning when you still rose, even though almost no strength remained within you. That quiet perseverance created a strength you have not yet recognized in yourself. Yet, my beloved child, do not misunderstand my words as a promise that every difficulty will disappear overnight. True change often begins within before it becomes visible outside. Before circumstances change, your perspective must be healed. Before a new door opens, your hands must release the old key that no longer fits. Before you enter a season of expansion, you must learn not to return to what once depleted you. I am helping you understand that deliverance is not only being brought out of a dark place, it is also no longer desiring to return there merely because it feels familiar. You cannot enter the new completely while allowing old fear to determine your direction. Perhaps you feel an urging within that is difficult to explain, as though something is calling you to awaken after a long sleep. Do not be afraid of that feeling. It may be a sign that you are becoming more sensitive to the truth and beginning to recognize things you once ignored. Yet always test every stirring through peace and clarity. What comes from love does not force you, threaten that the opportunity will disappear unless you respond immediately, or make you surrender your ability to think. My voice may awaken you, but it will not throw you into confusion. I may speak urgently, but I still respect your growth. True guidance will make you more courageous, more sincere, and more responsible for your choices. Therefore, keep your eyes focused on what is right, rather than becoming fixated on any outward sign. Do not allow a screen, a number, or a mysterious promise to become the foundation of your faith. What is truly coming toward you will not disappear merely because you leave a message. If it is genuinely meant for you and aligned with a good path, it will find its way to you at the right time. Your responsibility is to live awake, prepare honestly, and refuse to allow panic to guide your heart. Care for the responsibilities already in your hands. Complete what you have postponed. Restore the boundaries that have been crossed, and learn to say no to invitations that drain your peace. The adversary is not as threatened by loud declarations as by your growing clarity. Darkness loses its power when you no longer react from your wounds, no longer easily believe sweet words unsupported by action, and no longer sell your dignity in exchange for temporary acceptance. When you know you are loved, you will no longer chase places that offer only fragments of attention. When you understand your worth, you will no longer remain in relationships that make you continually doubt yourself. When you walk in truth, plans built upon deception will lose their foundation without your having to retaliate or fight with bitterness. Remember that I do not require you to see the entire road before you take a step. I give enough light for the next step, because if you knew everything in advance, you might depend upon control instead of learning trust. Your next step may be very simple: resting when you are exhausted, apologizing when you recognize that you were wrong, leaving when a place is no longer healthy, or opening your heart to receive help when the burden has become too heavy. These ordinary actions sometimes become the hinges upon which a great door begins to move. Do not wait until you feel completely ready, because readiness is often formed while you obey what is right, one step at a time. You are standing at the beginning of a season in which you will learn to receive without suspicion, move forward without rushing, and hope without abandoning discernment. What lies ahead is not only meant to erase old sorrow, it will also help you become someone who can bring peace to those walking through places you once knew. The healed cracks within you will become windows through which light reaches others. The years that seemed wasted will become a source of wisdom. The times when you rose after being wounded will teach you how to support the weary without judging them. Therefore, my beloved child, do not abandon yourself during this moment of transition. Remain with peace. Remain with truth. Remain with the reminder that you are not alone. Something great may be very near, but your value does not depend upon whether it arrives early or late, whether the door opens today or after another part of the journey. You are still loved, still seen, and still guided. I, Michael, will remind you to stand upright when the winds become strong, to preserve a pure heart when lies are spoken, and to continue walking while the road remains unclear. Trust that what truly belongs to you will not pass you by. Prepare calmly, move forward courageously, and allow the change to begin in the deepest place within you.